All right, hi trumpet players. This is Mrs. Geist, and we are going to go through your yellow book, the assignments that I gave you before break. We're going to start on page 30, okay? So a couple things, lightly row. We're going to start with that. Make sure that you tongue every single note. Please start every note with your tongue. Make sure you put lots of air through your instrument. Play strong with a good sound. And yeah, let's see if you can play along with this. All right, from the beginning. And make sure you double check how you're holding your trumpet correctly. That right thumb, remember, we don't want any nose pickers. That right thumb goes in between the first and second valve casing. All right, from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, and... Ooh, my trumpet playing, I need to work on that a little bit. All right, Frere Jacques is going to be next, and look at the second line. The second line, remember we talked about it at most of the schools. They're called set of eighth notes. They are twice as fast as a quarter note. If a quarter note is that tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the eighth notes are twice as fast. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and they just go twice as fast. So you need to coordinate your fingers and your tongue. And oopsie, I forgot to tell the clarinets about that. Look at the second line. Some of you were asking me in class that we thought that was a tie. It does look like a tie, but a tie is connecting the same note. These are different notes. And guess what? I'm not going to teach you what that means yet because I want everyone to solid tongue every note because we're not all doing that yet. So I'm not going to teach you what that is till everyone can tongue as a habit, okay? So ignore that for now. We're just going to tongue every single note. All right, from the beginning, this one's really fun. 1, 2, beginning, and... Now make sure that high A on measure 5, the second line, that high A, we want to put some air through it, right? And make sure your corners are tight. And if you practice as what you should be, that A is not hard to get out, okay? All right, Ode to Joy is next. Look at the fourth measure. See where it says 4 right there? We talked about that in class. That is a dotted quarter note. A dotted quarter note gets 1.5 beats. Then right next to it is an eighth note all by itself. That looks kind of funny. We've never seen that before. But here's what it sounds like. Da, da, da. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and. You'll figure it out, and we'll see it a lot where you're going to recognize it. So here's Ode to Joy again. No new note. Pretty simple. And let's try it. Make sure you tongue that first note. 2, 3, 4. Now something I forgot to remind you about is to try to connect your notes. We don't want to pause every note. We don't want that. We want it connected. Keep your air flowing, interrupted with the tongue. You want them connected, okay? All right, that one's a fun one to practice by some dude named Beethoven. Hopefully you know who he is. We talked about it in class a little bit. All right, the next one I gave you was number 5 on the next page, When the Saints Go Marching In. And yes, there is a tie right there. You're used to seeing like usually two whole notes tied together. But this is different. It's a whole note tied to a quarter note. So do our math, 4 plus 1. You're going to hold that note out for 5 counts. And that happens a bunch of times on this song. There is also some dotted half notes, 3 counts. Then if you look at the last line, measure 12 there, that is a half rest. Remember, it looks like a hat. Hat equals half rest. So 2 counts, 2 beats of silence on that. Okay, let's try it. You can go a little bit faster on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 5 counts on that last one. That's pretty fun. If you guys can get it going faster, that would be cool too. But remember, we tongue everything. I don't want to hear anything that's not tongued yet. All right, the next page. Page 32, number 8, Old MacDonald. There is nothing new in here. We just make sure we reach up to that A, 1 and 2. Okay, it's the 6th note. It's the last note of your blue book. Okay, so we have to reach up to that. All right, Old MacDonald, here it is. And 1, 2, 3. And that was fun. You might want to practice that a couple times too. And then I know in class we're always in a hurry, so I forget to remind you about emptying your spit valve, all right? We want to do that every so often so you don't get that gurgle in there. We want to make sure that we don't buzz while we do that. We just blow air through it. So make sure you do that. All right, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It's kind of fun too. It goes up to that A also, but there's a road map here. If you look at the end of the song, it says D-C all fine. I know it looks like fine, but we don't want to say fine because it's really fine. We want to be sophisticated. Fine. So D-C all fine means go back to the beginning. I call it da capo, the top cop, da capo. We go back to the top and we end at the fine. So you see that double bar there? And it says fine. So fine means finish, end. So we play the song, we go back to the beginning because that's what DC means, and then we stop at fine. All right, here we go. 1, 2. Beginning. Remember to take a big breath and put lots of air through your instrument. All right, number 10, Jolly Old St. Nicholas. Like I said earlier, I would stop the recording and practice a little bit. Maybe rewind it, practice it again, and it's kind of a nice way to practice. And you'll get better too. All right, Jolly Old St. Nicholas, there is a road map here. At the beginning, you'll see a backwards repeat sign. I know some schools we got to this, but I don't think we got to everybody. So there is a repeat sign, but it's backwards. You're not used to seeing that yet. So you're going to play the song from the beginning. Look at the second line. On measure 6, it has a little tiny 6 there. If you look at measure 7, it's got a 1 there with like a box kind of over it. That is called the first ending. So at the end of every first ending, there is a repeat sign. Do you guys see that one? The repeat sign, that's what we're used to seeing. Then we go back to the beginning again. If the repeat sign wasn't at the beginning, we would still go back to the beginning because that's the road map. And so that's why he didn't really need to put it there. He just put it there to remind you. Now we play this song the second time. We play through it, and then we get to measure 7. We don't play that first ending again. We skip it, and we go to the, you guessed it, the second ending. That's why it has a 2 there. So we can't stop playing and figure that out. We have to figure that out before we get there. So it's flawless, and we don't stop there. So good luck with your roadmap. Here's Jolly Old St. Nicholas. Here's your first note. Make sure you shoot high on that note. Again, if you're a practicer, that high A is not hard to come out. Firm up your corners. Okay, say the word he or T. Get that tongue up and just support from your belly to get that high A. Here we go. 2, 3. Beginning. Oops, overshot that G. And so hopefully you took that second ending. Awesome. And also I noticed I just took off my bell cover. It's so much easier to play without your bell cover on. Woohoo! All right, so go to number 12. This one's fun. We do those set of eighth notes again. There's a couple set of eighth notes in there, twice as fast. Okay, eighth notes are twice as fast as quarter notes. Now, if you look at measure 3, we didn't get to this at every school. Measure 3 has a new note in it. I'd get out your band pencil. That should be right there on your music stand, okay? That is a low B. So a B is second valve. We've never had that before. So B is low. You want to relax, open up your teeth and your jaw, and just make sure it's relaxed. A low B. It's a really fun note to hit. Now, let's say you forgot what this note is, or you're like, oh, that's a new note. It's a new song. I want to play some more stuff on the internet that I like, and I don't know what that note is. Well, just like your blue book, at the back of your blue book, remember, we have it open every day. Those are all your notes. Well, the yellow book is pretty exciting. Look at the last 2 pages of the yellow book, and it's got all the notes on the trumpet. How fun. So kind of go around, see which notes you already know, and learn some new ones. It's pretty fun. See how low you can go, stretch yourself, see how high you can go, and that makes it fun. So your yellow book is a really good guide. It's a good resource to what you should know. All right, let's hit it and skip to my Lou with that new B. B is second valve low. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. That's Skip to My Lou. And if you want to try number 13, America, it's really pretty. Some of you will know it. I'm not going to go ahead and play that right now because it is a little advanced for some students. But if you guys are ready for it, truck along with it. Mexican Hat Dance is really fun too. It's got that low B in it. And it's got the first ending, but nothing else is new in there. You can play that and work it up to speed. And our last one's going to be the next page, Yankee Doodle. So you have a lot to keep you busy, and if you're a practicer, once again, thank you for listening to this. This means that you were paying attention and want to learn. I love that. Thank you. So here's Yankee Doodle. There is another new note in Yankee Doodle. Yay! It's a little high, but again, if you're practicing, it's not going to be high to hit. And it's measure 6, that first note. It's called a B flat. I know there's not a flat sign by it, but we'll talk about that later. Just kind of take your band pencil and write in the word B flat there. That is first valve, and it's kind of up there. So the first note that we know is F, which is first valve. And high B flat is first valve also. And you'll get it because you know Yankee Doodle. All right, here's the beginning. 1, 2, 3. And let's see, you could probably try number 19 also. That one's fun, by Bach. And you could give number 22 a try also too. All right, you guys, thanks for practicing. And I can't wait to see you. I'm going to miss you. It's been a while, so I will see you in January. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye.